FirstRand operates as Rand Merchant Bank, First National Bank and West Bank. It is predominantly South African based and has a market cap of 181.6 billion Rand, a price to earnings ratio of 12.2 and a dividend yield of 3%. You wanted to talk about the share price. Let's look at the share price.
Well,
here.
you can just have a look how they've absolutely crushed their market peers after a lot of reorganization. So remember, you got some MMI shares there, which coincidentally, if you'd sold and bought more FirstRand, you would have done even better. So this has been the premier bank from a stock action point of view in South Africa. And also you get the sense that they've been stealing market share, had a very clever campaign. I think they were voted most innovative bank in the world.
In the world. Now we sound like FNB converts.
Yeah, exactly.
Levan, are you as enthusiastic about the FirstRand story as the underlying share price?
FirstRand have actually been one of the most innovative high street banks, if you want to use the English term for a bank. They have embraced technology faster and a lot smarter than many other banks. Innovative products like being able to buy and store Krugerrands online.
Why would you want to do that, Levan?
Well, the online banking facility has also been safe and secure, but most importantly, they've been able to manage the bank's assets and grow into diverse sectors. West Bank has been a star performer in terms of earnings delivery, and they've also been able to be exposed to the informal money lending sector. So whilst they aren't competing directly with micro lenders, they're able to earn income almost at every level of the banking sector. So whether it's car finance, unsecured lending, formal lending, commercial lending, and it shows in the share price.
But can the performance continue? That's the big question now.
Yeah, because if you have a look at the unsecured lending market in South Africa and overdraft, there's roughly the four big banks that we're going to talk about, and the others all have about a 20% market share. So it's interesting, we place a lot of emphasis on the people who do unsecured lending as their primary business, but every one of the big banks has been doing it, and for a long time, because it is a lucrative set of business. I guess the big question mark here is, where is their continental ambitions? How are they going to be able to, after having done all the reorganization, how much juice is left in the tank? Because they do trade at a bit of a premium to their peers. So everyone's happy to be buying them up to this level, but it's where is the growth strategy from here? And I think a few question marks about where to next.
It's never an easy time for a management team. You deliver superb performance and then the market wants more superb performance. What are their continental ambitions? Do we have any clarity on their strategy?
I think that there will be very good clarity in the next few months. Certainly everybody wants to have exposure to the African continent. If I follow the FirstRand strategy, I believe that it'll be firmly in the electronic space. Also, if you observe FirstRand, they're very careful to separate Rand Merchant Bank, which has the trading and treasury operations, FirstRand, which has the typical high street banking operations, and their insurance businesses, and then merge them all at the end of the day with the financials. I think that the rest of Africa is probably waiting for FirstRand type banking and solutions.
But having traveled the continent extensively, I do know that we're sitting in situations both in East and West Africa where you have a number of banks in each of those territories. So you've got almost a crowded out banking space. Is there room for another bank would be my question. Well, haven't they left a little late?
Yeah, I think your question is very, very valid, because in the two big economies in Eastern and West Africa, it's very fragmented, and it's not as if someone's just going to waltz in and say, hey, look at our great, fantastic banking platforms, come over this side, because it's got well established in both Kenya and in Nigeria. And in Nigeria, the banks have been patchy at best. I think the central bank governor's done an awful amount to be able to restore confidence in the banking sector, and they're no longer dirt cheap. Remember, there was a time that almost the entire Nigerian banking sector was trading at a discount to book because nobody knew what book was. So those are just the question marks for me, is where to from here? And perhaps the old guerrilla shareholders inside of RMB, do they have as much enthusiasm for the business as they used to?
Levan, your thoughts on that?
I think that, as I've mentioned early on, because there's clear segregation between the activities, let's isolate Rand Merchant Bank, and they really have been market leaders in terms of cross-border corporate finance. They've been deal makers across Africa and have won a number of awards. While FirstRand may not have entered that foray of commercial banking, it may be something that they could switch on quite quickly, or they may have assessed that there's so much of competition that they'd rather cherry pick destinations.
Hot or not on FirstRand, Sasha?
Just on a pure price perspective, I like the business, I like what they've done, but not on the share price.
Levan, hot or not?